Hey, so I just wanted to check in with you guys and see how you're feeling today, how you're kind of navigating this new energy that we have coming through. There is so much collective energy pouring in right now. There's like so much chatter, so much, lots of opinions, lots of perspectives, lots of, ideas about things flying around through the collective. And Spirit wanted me to just pop on and talk to you guys about how important it is for us to see things for what they really are. And so if you're watching this video, if you're following me on my pages, you are likely somebody who is on your spiritual journey. You're somebody who probably has been doing a lot of work, on yourself, healing, how the spiritual path goes. But remind yourself, it does not make you a saint. It does. I always say there's no ascended masters among us. And that's for real, because we're working on our stuff like always. And so it's very interesting how the election results are bringing up emotional energies, emotional charges for people. And so I really want to show you this because Spirit's just telling me and showing me to be mindful of how you are communicating. Now, I'm not going to tell you that you need to believe in one person more than the other, that you should have voted for. I'm not going to tell you that, because your beliefs are your beliefs. I just want you, though, to be able to fairly gauge what you are feeling and how you are processing it. And we can do this also, when we are communicating with somebody. So make sure when you are communicating with somebody that you are, and especially when it's about something that you feel deeply about, that you believe in, check the source of where that is coming from. Because if it's coming from your mind, it's going to have a program attached to it, right? It's going to have belief systems attached to it. It's going to have the wounds, the traumas, the dramas all attached to it. If you are communicating through your higher self, through your soul energy, it's going to be very neutral. It's going to be very open. It's going to be very non-biased. And you need to know the difference between these two sources, because remember, as souls incarnating into these human avatars, we have many different aspects of who we are. And so we have an ego, we have a pain body, we have our higher self, our soul energy. And we want to do our best navigating through all of the tough stuff through our higher self, through our soul energy. And so be really, really mindful right now of where your reactions are coming from. And so just as an example, this is interesting. My husband and I were having a conversation last night. And, he and I both, and this is, and if I offend you, then you got some work to do there as well. But we are both Trump supporters. We have been. Our children are Trump supporters. My husband and I are very much Trump supporters. We were supporting him from the beginning. And for me, it's always been a vibrational aspect to it. So meaning, back in the day when he first came, to the scene and people were getting to know him, and he had all of these, he's this brashness about him and all of this stuff. I can remember talking with clients, and clients would come in and especially all the women, because the women hated him, right? Because he would say things that would offend people, and, he had that about him. But energetically, when I would receive what he was saying or tune into what he was doing, I could pick up on that being goodness, of there being good intention there. There was no evil there. There was no malice there. There was no... There were lots of ego, because he's a very ego guy, right? He's got lots of money. He's got, ego makes people rich. That's, it happens. But I can remember him just having that good vibrational energy about it, right? And it's the same thing now. So when we talk about, I had somebody ask me on my page, like in disbelief, what do you like about him? And there's so much that I like about him from a vibrational perspective. So meaning, if I had to choose, if I had to tune in vibrationally, and I have been through this whole thing, the circus, watching it on TV and watching the online, the energy, the vibrational frequency of Biden and Kamala and that whole team and that whole side, there's a denseness to it. There is, without a doubt, a unintelligent density to it. And I'm not saying that in like a judgmental way. I'm just saying from an energetic perspective, it was very closed energy, very narrow-minded energy, very low vibrational energy. When I tune into Donald Trump, when I'm watching him talk, when I've watched his interviews, when I see him do his things, the rallies and all of that, when I tune into him, it's very much spirit-led. And I say that because there are two different ways that we can navigate through things. And this is what Spirit wants you guys to remember. We can navigate things and explore and experience through our human avatar. So meaning we're running everything through our mind. We're running it through the program. Or we can have the experience through our soul, through our higher self, through our intuition. We can have that through our spirit energy. They're two different worlds. Like vibrationally, they are two different worlds. And I don't know about you, but for me, when I am wanting to somebody to look, when I'm looking up to somebody for guidance and change and, navigating all of the possibilities of support for us, I want somebody who is vibrationally open, right? I want somebody who can see the big picture. I want somebody who is open to new ideas, right? That's what this is about right now. And if you feel into it, that's kind of like this agenda. And yeah, it's an agenda. Like this is not, again, there's no ascended masters among us. This is not a saint that has been elected. It's, it's a human being with all of the human aspects that we all have. But remind ourselves, especially if you're having the awareness that you're on your ascension journey, that you're on your soul's awakening journey. This is all happening for a reason, right? We talked about this before. Spirit said to us, this is going to bring up emotional stuff for you. Pay attention to what filter you're using when you are expressing yourself, when you are exploring, right? When you are listening to somebody else. So as an example, when you're listening to me talk right now and saying that I am a supporter of him, pay attention to what parts of you are aggravated, are irritated, are angry. Pay attention to that, because just so you know, your soul will never, ever be irritated, angry, that rage, that does not come. It's not the vibrational communication language of our soul. That would be your human avatar. That would be your ego, your pain body, right? So make sure that you are acknowledging if you are feeling what you're feeling, because it's valid, but just feel into a little bit of like, okay, so if I'm feeling all of this rage, if I'm feeling this hostility, if I'm feeling all of this, where's it coming from? Because it's not because of the election. It's not because of this one man. It's not because of, it's within me, right? This is a frequency within me that needs to be healed. And I guarantee you this, if you are somebody who always communicates through the mind and not through your soul, it's not going to be just in this experience of the election. It's going to be in all of your experiences. And when we do that, when we communicate just through the mind, there's always a program running, right? So remind yourself of that. It's always very narrow-minded, narrow energetically, very small, very low vibrational. And I know that if you're on your spiritual path, your spiritual journey, you're wanting to get rid of that, right? When we talk about holding the light, raising in frequency, ascending, ascension, it's the opposite of all of that. So really pay attention to what's coming up for you right now. Pay attention to the Spirit's just saying, the hostility. pay attention of the hostility, where it's coming from, right? Remember, it's not being generated from an outside source. It's coming from within, and that's there to be healed. It needs to be healed. Sending you guys huge blessings.